What the hell is going on? That's probably what you're saying to me right now. After weeks and weeks and weeks, months without an episode of the You're Still Here podcast, you now finally have one today. But don't you worry. Don't think because I've been doing these sports shows and those have been getting more. It's just like the NBA subsidizing the WNBA. That WNBA is never going to end. And either is the You're Still Here podcast, which we have a great episode for you today, because the flip side of not putting out any material like that for a couple of months is that I got a whole catalog of information in my notes, information that you guys need to hear, because there are all sorts of events that have transpired over the last couple of months. And I got a couple tree thoughts about them, and I'll be getting to all those today. This is like a Days of Futures Past X-Men episode. I'm going to be running the hurry up offense on the last couple of months. You guys already know my defensive playbook. You know my defense and coaching staff, how we go about things. We deploy the Screwjob prevent defense in life. But today, here on the offensive side, on this episode, you're going to be getting the hurry up offense from October straight through to New Year, new me. We're going to be going over a whole bunch of stuff. And interestingly enough, you guys know that Screwjob prevent defense. I've talked about that on a previous podcast. I've talked about that on some of my other sports betting shows. But the Screwjob prevent defense is doing everything you can to prevent getting screwed. It's having the foresight to know, oh no, they could do that, so I'm not going there because I'll get screwed. You gotta think 3 Screwjob steps ahead. Interestingly enough, I'm not the only one who deploys this strategy. Now, I don't want to be affiliated with these people, but always remember, just because you moonwalk doesn't mean you're affiliated with Michael Jackson. A good defense is a good defense. Whether somebody else uses it doesn't mean they're affiliated with me, because you want to know somebody else who I think kind of has the Screwjob prevent defense down to a T. Well, 2 people I've actually learned in the last couple of months. I'm sure you saw the Vince McMahon documentary. I'm sure you saw all the stuff that he did and got away with. And yes, got away. Is he in jail? Is he doing all? No, he's still a secret owner of the WWE. Why? Because he played Screwjob prevent defense, fired himself, made his daughter the fake CEO, then stepped back in and took majority control. Screwjob prevent defense, knowing that a day like that could come. But then you want to know who else? And please do not affiliate. Look, I came up with a great book. I came up with a great playbook. Just because people are utilizing it, don't hate the playbook. It's actually the opposite. Don't hate the playbook, hate the player. And that is none other than Sean Diddy Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, more names than Ron Artest. You guys obviously know what's going on with him in the news. A lot of memes if you've been tracking social media, or if you haven't been living under a rock the last month or so. But I saw in an upload, I think from TMZ, they said that Diddy freak-off party NDAs allegedly prohibited guests from revealing anything about the parties or Diddy while he is alive, and for 20 years after his death. So think about that whole process. While everything was going down, before he even got in trouble once, he had the foresight to think, if I get in trouble, when this stuff comes out, it has to be at the exact time after I'm dead that I know nobody's still alive who I would never want to see. This guy literally had a categorical list of names. He had huge names on an endless roll call where he was like, no, my sister's grandson, I can't have him know about that. And then he determined, okay, well, after I'm dead, the youngest person should be gone 20 years after my death. So year 21, sure, you can let that all out. This guy has figured out that 21 year, you want to talk about some sort of horror movie. I think that 28 years later is set to come out this year. That might be about P. Diddy. 28 years later, maybe the P. Diddy horror movie. 21 years later, where the NDAs finally expire, and people start saying what the hell happened in some of these parties. But you got to give him credit. That's a genius move. You want to know why? You guys don't even know who died last year. You really don't. That's just the way news cycles and social media work. You don't care about a death from 3 years ago. All right, somebody just burned alive on a subway. It's going all over the internet. Nobody cares. They were walking by. And they checked their phone. They checked Snapchat to see if the girl from Starbucks answered them back. Of course they didn't answer back. But it doesn't matter. They didn't care that somebody was burning in a train. This is how people are. So Diddy knows in 20 years. You remember that actress? Brittany Murphy. She was in 8 Mile. I think she was in Clueless. She was in a lot of stuff. And guess what? Definitely fewer than 20 years ago, she died in her home just sleeping. They said, yeah, she died of natural causes. Yeah, a lot of people just die of natural causes at 27 or whatever she was when she passed away. That hasn't even been close to 20 years, I believe. I think maybe it's been like 12, 13, 14. In 7 years, if a big article came out, NDA finally expires, we can learn how Brittany Murphy died. Everyone's like, who the hell is that? Nobody cares. P. Diddy. Look, I'm sorry I gave the playbook to everyone, but it's the Screwjob prevent defense being used quite efficiently by Mr. Diddy there. And I guess, you're starting to see it expand, like the Mike Shanahan coaching tree. You know how they say, like, oh, and then there was Kyle Shanahan and then his assistant and then McVay, and then there was the Green Bay coach, Matt LaFleur. That's me. That's my prevent scam defense, prevent Screwjob defense. There's Andy and there's Diddy and there's McMahon. Now, please do not affiliate me with those people. Remember, like I said, you moonwalk doesn't mean you're Michael Jackson. It just means you have an efficient playbook. Anyway, with that said, I got a lot of ground to cover. Been a while since the last pod. And if you actually go back and watch the last episode of the podcast, I was talking about urine samples. Like, that was just something that I had dialed up because I'd gone to the doctor right before the end of the summer, because I think that's when I think I talked about that too. You should always sneak your doctor's visits in either in December or those final few weeks of the summer when absolutely nothing is on. And don't tell me baseball, because nobody's watching that. So I was talking about how there is a urine sample practice and philosophy. Like, are you an early filler of the cup and then take the hose and go, or do you fill it up at the end, or are you in the middle? But I never asked you to say how you did it. All I said was that there was a philosophy that varied from person to person. Like some people who say, oh yeah, the toilet paper comes from this direction, the other come from this direction. Well, that very night, I filmed that last episode of the podcast. And that night, I took my mom for her birthday to see a Sebastian Maniscalco show. She really likes him. So for her birthday, got her tickets. Guess what one of the things in his act was? And I'm not going to retell the joke. You're not supposed to do that. Go watch the special whenever it comes out and you could see it for yourself. But he talks about delivering pristine urine sample cups back. And I just found it so funny. Yet again, we had the Curb Your Enthusiasm, multiple episodes, and now I literally say something to you, I go, oh, that was a pretty good episode, and then see some of my stuff out there. And then watch, I'm going to say that on a stage somewhere, and then what did I do? I stole from Sebastian Maniscalco, despite the fact that the podcast I taped was out before I saw that show. Anyway, I just found that fascinating. It means I'm relatively on the right track with some of the material that I dish out to you guys here. Now, that's something about urine samples, and that triggered, look, I try not to get too disgusting with you here, but there's sometimes, there's things you guys got to know. It's things you guys got to know. I don't want to get too far off track. A significant percentage of you are going to find this relatively disgusting, and a couple of you are probably going to say, yeah, that's happening to me too. Well, as you get older, I just want to let you know, maybe this is just me. I highly doubt it, though, because just like I deliver standard 9 to 5 urine samples, I also, my whole life, have shat 9 to 5 regular guy shit. I wasn't a low tier shitter. I wasn't an explode the toilet guy. I wasn't a frequent I was a standard shitter. But I must say, as I'm getting older, a higher percentage of my shits are clogging the toilet without any toilet paper. Like, that's obviously, yes, you can always say you use too much toilet paper. I'm talking about zero toilet paper clogs. There is a precipitous increase in my zero toilet paper clogs. And I don't know why. I really have zero clue why. Nothing has changed. And yet, something's happening with these shit. I don't know the science behind this. I would love to maybe learn it, but I really even don't want to learn it. But it is somewhat disconcerting. You know how life sends you messages? I told you a full year ago when I was watching the Red Door movie of, not Sinister, but it was Insidious, The Red Door, when they had a split screen of the father and the son waking up in bed in the morning and their process of how they got up. And that was one of those moments in life I realized, oh, you're old, because I saw, like, I connected with the dad, his grumbles, his leans when he leaned off the bed. I'm like, yeah, no, that's what waking up is. So all of a sudden that was like a, oh my God moment for me. I don't see eye to eye with the kid wake up anymore. I see eye to eye with the dad wake up now. That was a tough moment for me. I don't know if this is a tough moment, but it's a moment nonetheless. My shits are clogging the toilet without any toilet paper, and I don't like it. Because, as I just mentioned, I'm not one of these people who sits in the bathroom for 45 minutes. I'm not one of these people who, I'm sure you've seen that classic meme where you see two red, deep elbow marks on the thighs because somebody has been scrolling on their phone while in the bathroom so long. That's not me. That's not me. By the way, I completely understand. I mean, I'm sure I do it. Like, scrolling on the toilet, to me, that seems relatively normal, right? You can do something like TikTok 15-second videos, 30-second videos. That's in line with a 7-minute, 10-minute bathroom visit. What I never understood is, like, those people that I previously thought were just in movies who bring the full Washington Post into the bathroom when they take a shit. They read a full newspaper article? Like, I always, like, when I see that, and I didn't even think it was real. I thought it was just something in movies. Like, old people always did that in movies. This guy's about to read a full Washington Post article about the war in Iraq in there? There's no way. There's no way that's a real thing. I always thought that. I always thought that was just like, okay, that's the dad in A Christmas Story. People actually don't do that. I never saw that in my house. Speaking of the war in Iraq, and by the way, this is 100% not the war in Iraq, but I did see this tweet from @Iran military saying, "These are our hypersonic missiles. Catch them if you can." If you guys remember, I used to say how weird it was that, like, on Twitter, you can just type a message to @the Taliban. Hey, @Taliban, I was wondering, what kind of sandwiches do you guys have over there in Afghanistan? It's just so weird that these entities, I know Louis C.K., one of his most recent shows, he said, like, @Auschwitz tweeted something out, and it's just like, who the hell, who's running that? Who's running this @Iran military Twitter account? And more importantly, even the @Iran military has a snarky Gen Z intern running the social media team, just like all of our companies do. Catch them if you can. That's what they're tweeting out there with the Iran military. I just found that, I don't know if funny's the right word, but it's a little funny. Who's running that account? Anyway, between you and I, you and me and you, right now we're entrenched in the middle of winter, and it's gotten cold really quick. But I must say, this past fall, it easily was top 2, at worst, number 3 fall since my childhood. Every single day from late September straight through, I swear to you, December 1st was like 55 to 63 degrees. This was one of the most pleasant few months. It was one of the most pleasant seasons I've ever had. So many things. Well, it was such a how do you hear that from me? A beautiful fall. Usually, the way I look at weather and seasons and life in general, if you swipe something on that weather credit card, oh, you're going to have to pay that off. And sure as hell, it's been pretty bitterly cold. Usually, you know how it is. The true cold arrives in like late January, early February. We're seeing some credit card cold that's arriving this early in December. But before these cold months came, we had those months in the fall where I didn't have many podcasts. And the first thing that usually, I always explain the reasons I love the fall. You get hockey starting, people who watch baseball playoffs, NFL's underway. You have horror movies, Halloween. My birthday's in October, so my birthday was in October. Did you wish me a happy birthday, by the way? Of course not. Of course you didn't, as you shouldn't. But do you want to know who did? You want to know who did wish me a happy birthday, courtesy of my younger brother and my mom? Here's a hint. It wasn't Sophie Rain.
What's up, Andy? It's AJ.
And Big Justice.
And this message to Andy, you got a big boom! Now, Big Justice.
Yeah.
It's Andy's birthday, and this birthday is going to be a big boom!
Yeah.
All right, Vincent, Mom, what you got to do is get Andy over to Costco and get a
Chicken bake.
and a double chunk chocolate cookie.
I brought the boom way before you did. And when I brought the boom, it didn't include chicken bakes and double chunk chocolate cookies. It included the old-fashioned way to bring the boom. It was called Burbank Starvation.
Also, Big Justice, we hear that Andy has a YouTube channel.
Yeah, did you find my YouTube channel?
That's a big
Boom! We're going to have to check that out, the Andy Francess channel. And always bring the boom!
So that's how I was greeted on my birthday. With that two guys, that's the kind of family I'm from. Those are the kind of friends, you guys who watch my sports videos. You want to know why I'm always so adversarial? Because those closest to you screw you with chicken bakes and double chunk chocolate cookies. But after that, I was then treated to a steakhouse dinner for my birthday. I went there with my lady, and the guy who worked at this steakhouse, he comes up to the table right after we ordered desserts and we were waiting for the dessert. He says, "Hey, you guys want me to take a picture of you two? You want me to take a picture of you two?" And I said, that's actually nice, because how many times do you go out and you would like a picture for the both of you, especially for her? And you're not going to ask someone. You're not asking somebody at a table to take a picture. So I thought it was relatively convenient that the waiter came up to us, was like, "Oh, can I take a picture for you guys?" I was like, that's solid foresight. Girls always want a picture of a night out. And then at the end of the night, like, "Oh my God, we didn't even get a picture." I go, good on that guy for doing that. So he pulls out the digital camera, and then, we're about to take the picture. I was like, "Did you bring a digital camera out tonight?" She says, "No." The guy was just taking a picture of us for the place that he was just going to slap on the wall and say, another happy couple eating in the steakhouse. I had to ask the guy to then, can you take a picture for us with our phone so we can have it? And he goes, "Oh, yeah. So that's what this guy he probably didn't even work for the place. He's probably just a creep who just wanted a random picture of us, and he goes from place to place, sneaking pictures of people that he wants to take home and do God knows what to. And then they bring out a little cake with little candles on it for my birthday, and I have news for you. I didn't blow out the birthday candles. I straight up refused to blow out the birthday candles. No, I refused to blow them out. Or make a wish or anything like that. And right now is probably what you're thinking, like, why? Why would you not do that? Are you just a curmudgeon? They want you to do it. They want you to blow out the candles and make a wish because it's customary, and you just have to be Andy, the guy who doesn't do what other people, he doesn't like authority people. No, it has nothing to do with that. Things have been going incredibly well for me, just like the fall that I told you. It was a perfect fall. It's been a borderline perfect year. You think I can run the risk of some liar backward stuff where I blow out the candles and then it runs some sort of reverse? Now all the good stuff is bad, the bad stuff is good. I'm not running the risk. I know there's a 1 in 10 million chance, but even if there's just one, I ain't blowing out those damn candles. So I truly refused to blow them out. Some voodoo witch doctor where, like, you know, somebody who really, somebody's out there, somebody who lost money on one of my videos or something. Every night they have a voodoo witch doctor doll of me. And then, you know, they have like the Stephen King's Thinner. Go check it out. Go check out the Gypsies from Stephen King's Thinner, where they have a doll of me and then they shake their hand with blood over the doll, and then it's going over some big nose of mine and something, and then they recite some gypsy curse, and then as the candles are blown, it all kind of puts it into action, and I go back to getting screwed. Part of my screw job prevent defense is not even taking the chance that birthday wishes and candles and blowing things out and voodoo witch doctors, Stephen King's Thinner might actually be real. So yeah, I didn't blow out the candles on my birthday in case there's some gypsy voodoo witch doctor stuff where blowing out candles and making wishes can reverse the way things are going for me. And right now, are you saying, oh my God, this guy needs help. This guy's a conspiracy theorist. There's no way. Well, guess what? Things have gotten better. Things have gotten better for me since my birthday. And you want to know why? Because I didn't fall for the candle blowout. Maybe it's life saying, you have what you need. You never need more than you have and is right in your immediate path. You don't need to blow out the candles. The true birthday wishers are the ones who wish for nothing at all. Well, that was me. I wished for nothing. I got nothing because that's what I needed because things have been going beautiful. I wished for nothing and I got a beautiful fall. How do you like that? It was a great move. It was a great birthday. It was a great fall that we are currently fully out of as we are here during the holidays. But for me, so far this year, as a childhood friend of mine and I like to say, the Altoids are on the table. The Altoids are on the table. What does that mean? You guys, there's just no way you can ever know what that means. But I always believe that people on the outside can be brought to the inside of an inside joke. And allow me to pull you in. That's what I'm going to do right now. When I was in high school, a couple of my friends and myself, we had free 7th and 8th period, and we went to one of my friends' houses. I don't know where some of you people live. Some people watching this in Winnipeg. I know your friend's house was, 25 miles from your school. I could walk to my friend's house. We could walk to this. Everything was just a matter of blocks. So we had all, I don't know why I just took the need to stick that dig into the random Winnipeg guy. So we would go to my friend's house and, we were in his basement playing some NHL, and then we would make prank phone calls. That was something that we would do. We would do the best we could to record them with the technology at the time, but it was like old school prank calls. One time I pranked his family and I asked for the father. We used the white pages to look up who lived there. So I asked for the homeowner, the father who wasn't home. And I explained that I needed to talk to him because there was a big meeting that was about to take place at the office. When she responded, oh, what office? I responded, the main office. And then she said, where? I said, the city. And then she asked what this was in reference to. And I responded, the paper files. My high school brain was using the best that I could, my basic idea of what big meetings were and what people were discussing. And when this girl grew skeptical, I doubled down and I said, this is a very big meeting. There will be Altoids on the table. In my mind, there was just nothing bigger. There was nothing bigger than paper files and manila folders with Altoids being on the table. And the Altoids are on the table. When things are going well for you, and especially monetarily, if you've come into some money and things are going well for you, or you're discussing a deal that could be potentially be profitable, you say the Altoids are on the table. Things are going very well monetarily for you and I or whatever. So hopefully I hear that from some of you in the coming months in regards to the sports videos. But anyway, that dinner that I went to where I refused to blow out the candles, it was right around Halloween time. I went to see Smile 2 after that. And yeah, I mean, you guys know me with horror movies, love them. Not that one. No bueno for that movie. But the funny thing about the Smile movies, don't you think they have social media, like Instagram influencer undertones because of the actual smile in the movie? I mean, the smile from the movie Smile, it's really how is it any different from this plastic surgery smile that we see all over Instagram? The Botox can't lift your face because it's fighting against you. What I like to call the Joker smile. If you've ever seen 1989 Batman, the two Joker girls, love that Joker.
Love that Joker.
And then there was also this horror movie that I saw called The Substance, which, I mean, it has very good reviews. I don't know why. And it's basically that idea of a celebrity, in this case, Demi Moore, who can resort to something called the substance, which will give her restored youth, prolonged youth. The only problem is she's already so plastic surgeried up and Botoxed up. When the movie starts, you don't know, like, oh, did she take the substance or not the substance? Because she has so much substance in her to begin with. It was a weird Black Mirror-ish movie for those of you who track my horror movie reviews and what I've been watching. But that was one of the many ones that I checked off the list. But really, horror movies are like the mail from Seinfeld when Newman says, the more you watch, I swear, the more that end up on the queue. These things multiply like, no pun intended, like gremlins. Like they multiply like gremlins. I've watched a whole ton, and I still have a few more on the list. And then speaking of which, it's right around Halloween. It is Halloween, and we see more videos emerge of the absolute cretins out there ravaging people's candy bowls like cavemen who got food for the first time, like Tom Hanks finally found food in Castaway or something. That's how they were devouring and stealing people's please take one candy. And I know this is long overdue, and I know it does, but look, Nightmare Before Christmas is my kind of vibe. I'm giving you a Halloween scam on Christmas.
It's a scam.
That's a scam.
What a scam that was.
So this was all a scam, huh?
And this is the please take one empty bowl scam, where I intentionally put out a bowl, like the ones you guys have seen before, that says, please take one. But when I put it out there, it's already empty. And why is that? So that when some of these scavengers come, not only are they angry, but they, A, don't blame me, they kind of feel bad for me, and B, now have to have a little self-reflection because they see a bowl that's already been ravaged, and now they get nothing, and now they know what some of these other people are feeling. And yeah, there is collateral damage. The people who do only take one. But that's the lesson you gotta learn. Okay? In life, we all pay for the sins of those scumbag few. And I can't let those ones get over on me. So hey, it's called trick or treat. So you're getting the please take one with an empty bowl. Maybe I'll leave a couple of quarters at the bottom for some lucky few. And that is what I did and will continue to do come Halloween time, because there are too many treaters out there, not enough trickers. Put me on there with all the trickers. Halloween for me, as you guys know, it's one of the most important holidays. Everybody has their own take on which are the most important, which are the least important. You all have your own rankings, but what if I told you your job actually forced you to submit rankings? Because mine did. Mine did. When you work at certain places, it's not like a regular job. I told you all I'm dying without a LinkedIn. That is true, but when you die without a LinkedIn, sometimes you got to take jobs that work, regardless if there are holidays, regardless nights, weekends, blah, 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 blah. Well, the way my job worked, everybody was given like a borderline Google Doc where you had to rank your favorite holidays in terms of being off between Thanksgiving Eve, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and you had to basically submit. And this, it was like being on a game show. I was like, For me, do you want to know what I ranked dead last? I go, go ahead, give me a day of work. Christmas, actual Christmas Day. Because I have news for you. If you're a random adult male on Christmas and you don't have like a whole family that you have to care for and take part in, and I'm not talking about mom and dad. If you're just a full-grown adult just showing up at any sort of Christmas thing, you should do everything you can to take a day of work so you don't ruin the day. How many memes have you seen in the last week about the uncle at so-and-so, the family member, the cousin? Well, Screwjob prevent defense. You're going to make memes about me. I'm going to take that job. So now when they say, oh, well, where's Andy? He had to work. Oh, wow, man. He's really worked hard. You flip the script on them. Now you're such a good person. You're working on holidays. That's how much you're into what you're doing. Instead of, oh, here he comes ruining the table. Is he talking politics? No, he keeps bringing up this screw job prevent defense, and we don't want to hear it. But hopefully all you guys do, and hopefully you guys enjoy all those stories. I hope you enjoyed all your holidays. Thanksgiving Eve, which was the last day to snake somebody during cuffing season. Thanksgiving, where you just allow yourself to eat leftovers all the way into the weekend and then order stuff on Sunday because football's on. Christmas Eve, where there's a lot of lingering going on and Italians unnecessarily eat a whole ton of fish. Christmas, where you can be a random guy if you're without a family. I don't know what you're doing, but my guess is it's not good. New Year's Eve, where they're just going to destroy you with prices. Uber X's are going to be 55X. Places are going to close and kick you out at 12:30, despite the fact that the night before that same exact place was open till 4 a.m. You're going to be stuck in the cold. Or New Year's Day, where you claimed that your New Year's resolution was going to start, you were going to diet, but because you're hungover from New Year's Eve, you're already eating things like bacon, egg, and cheeses and bagels, and you've prolonged your New Year's resolution to the first Monday. How's that for a positive take on all those holidays? Give me Halloween above all of them. Anyway, I know that doesn't apply to most. I know most people who probably watch this show, most people in general, if you're in North America, even my Canadian folk watching north of the border, if you have a standard job, you're probably off for the holidays. Do you want to hear a funny story of when I thought I was going to be a regular guy? I was on the trajectory of regular guy. And there was an interesting fork in the road that eventually led me, like a 50-leg parlay, which put me in this chair talking to you and being on this side of the camera. You guys obviously know with some of the editing work, you can go watch some of my old parodies, that I'm not too bad behind the camera as well. But the reason that I'm on the camera all stems from my first internship with NBC. I was in college. A year before graduation, I took an internship with NBC. The guy who hired me, I was going to be interning and working directly under him. He was going to give me everything I did had to be under this guy. I show up day one. He calls me into his office, and he lets me know that he got a big opportunity outside of the company, and he essentially gave his 2 weeks notice, but as it is in many companies, they kind of wanted him out soon because, they're selling company secrets, all that whole stuff. What a scam that is, by the way. I have quick advice outside of this story that I'm going to tell you. If you're ever going to leave a company, never give 2 weeks notice. Do not give 2 weeks notice, because if you give 2 weeks notice, very frequently they're going to say, no, that's okay. You're actually done at the end of the day. And that screws you. That screws you more than the other way around. So give 2 weeks notice on the day you want to leave and watch how that would have been your last day anyway. That's just a bit of advice. And don't say I don't know what I'm talking about. No, multiple people have been screwed with this. All right, you know what? Actually, don't let it. No, give 2 weeks notice, and I'm going to laugh at you when you didn't get that 2 weeks extra pay because they kicked you out on that day. We'll see. Let's see. I didn't blow out the candles. I'm having a great year. How's yours going? Something tells me if you're looking for other jobs, you know what? I'm going to stop that right now. I'm telling you this story about how the guy called me into his office, let me know he got a big job outside the company. So he was basically done. He was done. So on his last day, which was the next day, he told me, he goes, I'm going to find another, I'm going to direct you to somebody else in our department and you're going to be working under them. Yeah, well, he never did that. He never did that. And for the following 5 months, like in the movie Office Space, I showed up to NBC, I went to a desk that they provided for me, and I proceeded to check NHL.com to see who was leading the league in scoring because I was never given any assignments and I never sought out any assignments. I just sat there. People had no clue what I was doing, and I waved at somebody when I came in, and I just meandered around, watched Saturday Night Live rehearsals. This was in 30 Rockefeller Plaza. I hope somebody from NBC is watching this. That's what I did. That's what I did. And if you were smart, you would let me reboot the Charles in Charge remake. Okay? Because you could say he started at NBC. He was like, he started with the Page program, even though I would have never done that. But you can sell me as, look, he started as an intern at NBC, and all these years later, he's headlining Charles in Charge. You could spin it however the hell you want, as long as you give me the show. But anyway, I was there like George Costanza, doing nothing. I had a badge, put fake files in fake folders, kind of the same files from the meeting I was talking about during those prank calls. But when you work at a place like this, you'll know this if you worked at any sort of network or anything like that, you have your in-house monitors that can view all the stages. Even if nobody's there, you'll just be seeing a stage with nobody on it. And at the time, Conan O'Brien and Saturday Night Live, and I would just, once in a while, I would just watch them rehearse Saturday Night Live in the monitors, and I realized, oh, these people are having an absolute blast. They were having a blast during rehearsals. Do you want to know who wasn't having a blast? The out-of-shape grip who showed up at like 4 a.m. and didn't leave until 1 a.m. the next day. I saw that the majority of joy in the industry looked like it was in front of the cameras. It looked like it was going down in front of the cameras, and I decided after that internship ended, I took as many courses as I could in my last 3 semesters, theater arts and performing and anything I could. I was the worst you've ever seen in your life, but I decided to take that behind the camera to in front of the camera turn, which eventually led me to pursuing acting and performing, which eventually led me to creating my own stuff, which eventually led me to the sports videos and doing a podcast, which eventually led me to you, whoever is watching this damn video. So I'm not going to thank them, but it's just a real funny, oh yeah, I went there, Office Space style, did nothing, literally zero. I went to websites and looked at them, and then I walked around, watched rehearsals, and then went home. I did nothing. Goes to show you, internships are scams in the first place. Oh yeah, you can bet your ass they gave me college credit. Oh really? Now let's say I was doing work. Is that a fair trade? You ever take some of these college classes, rolling the ball 202? So I can get credits. That's not difficult. But to get free work out of me, that is certainly a scam. But as always, he who scams last scams loudest, and that's exactly what I did during that NBC internship, and it was just pretty funny. That internship, eventually seeing those in-house monitors and watching those Saturday Night Live rehearsals made me decide, nah, I got to do that. I need to be enjoying myself the way those performers are enjoying themselves. And there we have it. There we have it. There's my lesson for the day. Every once in a while, people, they write to me and they send me messages. Andy, how can I kind of do what you're doing? How can I make a show and get involved? I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue. I've been bouncing around like a bowling ball off a gutter, and I'm going to do a comedy show in Amsterdam. I'm going to audition for Days of Our Lives. I got a weird cooking show, despite the fact that I hate 95% of food. I did anything and everything. Oh, what do you need, Odd Shopper? You need me to song and a dance, fantasy football? Hey, we got this guy. He's catching passes. He's taking bets. And then one kind of stuck, and here I am. But people ask me how to do it. I didn't just start. Here's my advice, youngsters. Do something. It's going to be awful. And then do it the next day. And hopefully it's less awful. Hopefully it's not a negative 27. It's a negative 26. Eventually it's going to get good. It will iron itself out. It will take some longer than others. And it's going to be weird until you eventually find your need. Who's taking this advice? Come on, Gen Z wants to make a 5-second video. This Sophie Rain girl, $4 million. She just started making videos a year ago. Kids read that. They think it's the norm. They're not putting the bunker work in. Anyway, speaking of kids, when I was walking my dog, another relatively new phenomenon that I've seen pictures of kids who have recently graduated from high school, and what they do now, they like stick a picture of the kid in his like graduation thing, like the photo you'd get for graduation that your mom has framed somewhere. Well, they print it out on some sort of lawn sign. My son here, Leroy Jenkins, 2023 graduate of Donkey High, will be attending Seton Hall in the fall of 2024. And they have a picture of him in his thing right on their grass. Right on the grass. Pictures of guys, pictures of girls. Do you really want to make it that easy for pedophiles to just be going around and see, she's right in that window. Let's write that down. Oh, that kid's right up there. That's nice. All these people are going to be ending up like John Lovitz in the opening scene of Little Nicky. You can't do that.
Showtime.
You see all these drones hovering around. Who do you think it is? Everyone's like, who is it? Who the hell? It's the people trying to track all these high school pictures that they're seeing around. So yeah, if you're out there and, your kid graduates, just say, congrats, kid. You're going to Seton Hall. Don't put a picture of their face on your front lawn. Are you nuts? I saw them. I wouldn't want me seeing anything about your kids. That's what I will tell you right now. Speaking of high school, I have a friend I don't know why he's doing this, but I really love random, it's not a crime, but just random, perplexing, Joker-esque, watch the world burn things. This kid I know is going to random uploads that people made on Facebook like 14 years ago. He's acting as if they just happened right now. And he's commenting on them like, oh, I was there last night, if someone's at Rockefeller Plaza or something. He's re-spinning threads that haven't been touched in decades. Like that's what old Facebook conversations are. They're like mini time capsules that eventually hit this point where they're borderline frozen. Okay, nobody comments on that anymore. And he's doing this hilarious thing. He's commenting on them. And if you're a part of the thread, you get notified. And I find it pretty hilarious. So you want a fun little task? Find some sort of album that someone uploaded a long time ago and just add a comment to a 25 thread comment. And then when that person gets that notification, what the hell? Is he just confused? Why did he go to that picture? How did he come across that? Is he searching for that? It's just one of those things.
Some men aren't looking for anything logical.
It's one of those random crimes that it's not a crime, but it leaves somebody so perplexed. And that's the kind of stuff that I truly live for. I love it. I love it.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
And with that said, I want to wish you guys all a happy new year. An extremely happy new year. I hope the new year brings great things to you. I don't want the year to end. I don't want the year to end the same way that I wouldn't blow out those candles. I just don't want to take that gypsy curse chance. That a flip of the Gregorian calendar, a fake made-up calendar by a guy Gregorian who miscalculated his daylight savings. But like I said, I don't want to take any Stephen King's thinner gypsy curse, hand on the blood over a picture of my nose. I don't want any of that stuff. I don't want to take a chance So I'm going to enjoy every last hour of 2024. But if you're one of those people who wants 2024 to end, I want you to enjoy everything that's left in this year and next year, and I wish you all the best of luck with your sniffs for NHL and NFL videos, and also in your personal life. But I don't want you to be too happy, because I'm developing this theory that if you're too happy, you get Alzheimer's earlier, because a curmudgeon's mind is always twisting and turning. So keep that perfect balance. Keep that yin, keep that yang. I will see you guys in 2025. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Take it easy. I look forward to it. And if you haven't already, like this video, drive up the engagement, let other people know. I hope you enjoy. If you're a sports betting video person, you found this, I really hope you enjoy this too. I really don't. If this ain't your cup of tea, don't worry about it. Look at the amount of sports videos in between this video and the last video. Oh yeah, that's right. You can always exit out, but I hope you made it this far. So drop a comment. I do my best to respond to these ones. Don't be a rat and ask me something sports related knowing that I'm going to respond to these comments. Leave me a real one and I'll give you a real response. Thank you guys for enjoying the episode. I know it was a little bit long, but I had a lot to catch up on. I will catch you guys next time in 2025. Take it easy.